Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you. I am working with the Hip Kit Club kits from November.
For you today, I am making a mini book, and I'm using the Hip Kit Club kits for November. And the first thing that I did is I went ahead and I grabbed a whole bunch of 3x4 cards from the Project Life kit, and I found some photos of a snow day that I had with my daughter several years ago when she was pretty tiny still. And my idea is to combine these photos with, because look at her coat, the color is perfect, to combine these photos with the cards, maybe some cardstock, maybe some pattern paper, and then some of these frames. This is not Christmassy, and so I probably won't use this frame that says Merry Christmas unless I were to maybe cover that with something else. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be using yet, but those are some. This is the product that I'm going to be using. I will definitely use my favorite sequence in the whole world. And I also grabbed all of the embellishments, and I pulled out some embellishments that I thought would fit really well. I pulled out of the cards, I put a couple other things on top that I thought I might use, but I'm not going to use the holiday one. I'm not going to use peace or joy because those to me seem more Christmassy. And then I also grabbed these, which are the cards that go in in the packaging, and I may use these as a card as well. So this is kind of my basic setup, and I'm going to turn off the camera and I'm going to kind of move stuff around, and I'll probably speed this up, but I'm going to probably cut some of these pattern papers first just to do that off camera.
Alright, so once I have my photos and I have my cards, the next step for me is to try to figure out which cards go with which frames the best and how I want the order to go with the cards, the pattern papers, the frames, the pictures, so that it tells the story visually, but also so that there's wood grain throughout the whole thing, and there's pink throughout the whole thing, and there's blue throughout the whole thing, and that it's not all in a row, if that makes sense. There's not. Now, if I wanted to, I could do a whole bunch of pinks in a row and then switch to blues and so on. But in this case, I want all of the colors scattered throughout the whole set. So I'm pulling a chipboard frame from, oh, let's see. I think it's from the chipboard stickers that are included in the kits. And then another thing that I do is I take this Project Life card that is a 4x6 card, and I'm cutting it down so that I have the sentiment and the colors that I want. It has a little bit of wood grain, a little bit of pink, and it's not super Christmassy, even though it does say peace, joy, love. I felt like it could still fit for the whole topic of this mini book. So I cut that down, and now I'm just going through and trying to find more cards, and at this point I haven't completely decided if I'm going to use just the pictures of us outside or if I'm actually also going to use these two pictures of us drinking hot cocoa when we come inside. It's kind of one of our traditions ever since she was really little. After we've been outside when it's been cold, usually, especially after the first snow, but really any time that we've been outside, we come inside and we have hot cocoa. And on this particular day, I had my big girl camera out taking lots of photos, and she was just so cute. And I felt like these two photos were, I don't know, kind of told the story of the messiness and the joy and the actual tradition. So I end up leaving those photos in. But when I started making this mini, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. So I decided I needed a little bit more wood grain. As you can see, I'm kind of putting some pattern papers behind each of the frames, and I kind of ran out of pattern papers that I'd already cut, and I also really wanted more of that wood grain in there. I just really liked how it matched with the craft, and I don't know, I just really liked the look of it. So it was also kind of a nice neutral in with the pinks and blues, mainly pinks and blues and reds. So I'm getting a little closer here to what it's actually going to look like in the end. And I'm going to be super honest with you and tell you that I did do this mini over a couple of days. I probably had the bulk of it done on this day. And it took me, once I had like the photos processed and printed, so this parts that you're actually seeing here, it probably took me, oh, I don't know, a couple of hours, and I'm condensing it down to a 20-minute video. So this is a little bit longer video than what I usually make. I try to keep them under 10 if I can, 15 at the most. But I just thought you'd want also to see the actual walkthrough of the mini at the end and so on. So what I'm doing here now is I'm trying to pair them up so that you would see what the two spread page would look like. So I know I'm going to start with that photo of her at the door because literally the story was that she was totally ready. Of course, I got her all ready and I still didn't have my um, boots on or anything like that. So I wasn't quite ready yet. And she's like, "Come on, mom, come on," you know. And so I wanted that to start my album. And then next, after that, I'm just scattering all of the outside photos in random order, basically, and then the inside photos at the very end. Um, I'm adding a few embellishments as I see them pop up as I'm looking through things. So, like, I put that blue snowflake circle on that card, that first card, and then, well, I think that's all I've done actually so far. But you'll see me, like, as I'm kind of messing with the order, and I think I pretty much have it in the order that I'm going to do it now. As I'm messing with the order, I start to actually embellish them. Okay, I think at this point it's all embellishments going forward. So, like I said, I like to kind of do things in batches, and so I started by getting them all in the order that I wanted, and now I know I want, because it's a snow day, and that's what the story is about, I want, and there are tons of snowflakes in the kit, I wanted to go ahead and put snowflakes on almost every page. And what I'm trying to do as I'm making decisions here is balance the different types of snowflakes, specifically the colors, different colors of snowflakes. So, like that page that I'm working on right there, I'm going to have blue on one side and there's pink on the other side. There's a little blue in the words that say peace, joy, love. And so I wanted to pull the pink over to the other side, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of what I'm working on now. And I'm going to add my pops of color by using some of these enamel dots, but then I'm going to get out my sequins and I'm going to end up using quite a bit of sequins actually on this. And I, I was trying to be a little bit conservative just because of the fact that I know I want to use it in my December documented album, which is actually what it came in, was in that kit. But I just love it so much, and I know I have talked about it in every one of my videos, but I absolutely love the sequins because it's a great mix of color. And sequins is so nice, just like enamel dots, to be able to add just a little pop of color to whatever it is that you're working on. So anyway, so now I go back and forth between enamel dots and sequins and trying to pull the colors from one side of the two-page spread to the other side of the two-page spread. So that's kind of what I'm doing. That card there that I'm working on right now, I really wanted to cover up, there's a tree on it, a pink tree. And I was trying to keep the Christmas out, and the tree said Christmas to me, even though there are trees all kinds of the year, all throughout the year. What I mean, oh my goodness. Um, I'm not opposed to trees or anything, but that wasn't what I wanted. So I do end up covering that up with a snowflake eventually. But I really liked the card. I liked the color, and I liked that it said something about family on it that just totally fit. So now I'm looking through some of the stickers. This one says warm hugs, I think, on it. And then I'm going to pull a few stickers from this sticker sheet, which I think is from Pink Fresh Studio. I'm also going to be pulling out some embellishments. At this point, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to call this Snow Day, and there actually is a sticker that, or a couple of stickers that say Happy Snow Day, and they're in gold. And at this point, I was sort of thinking that with all the gold accents that I'm adding to this page or to this whole project, I thought that that's what I would end up doing would be adding that. It's just a flat sticker to the cover, but I end up using some of the alphas, red alphas actually, from the December documented kit, just because I did have a few pops of red throughout the whole project, but not a ton, and I wanted to add those in. So right now I'm going through and I'm looking at the sticker sheets, and I'm looking at my sequins, and I'm looking at the word stickers, and all the little embellishments, and I'm trying to embellish the cards just to make them a little bit cuter, give them a little something extra. A lot of them could stand on their own, but I kind of like what I ended up doing here. So I pretty much, even though I do cut some of this out, I'm pretty much doing this start to finish. I haven't glued anything down at this point, but you can see that I am turning off the camera just because my video, frankly, is getting long, and I'm just moving things around a little bit and nothing special to see. So once I added that little, I don't know if he's a little fox or something, to that card that's right in the middle, then I was like, oh, I'm really going to like this project. And I don't know what it was about adding that in, but it just made me super happy about this project. So I like a lot how it turned out in the end. So also down by the hot cocoa, I found a blue hot cocoa with a snowflake on it sticker, which I thought was just like awesome. And I went ahead and added that sticker also. So now what I'm doing is I've cut a piece of chipboard into a 3x4 size, just like the rest of the book, and I am gluing it onto a piece of patterned paper using some glue and a foam brush. And I just cut the corners and flip them around, and then I'm going to put a piece of patterned paper on the inside to cover that up. In this case, it's the wood grain paper, but it's just a little bit smaller than 3x4. So, and that I'm just putting on with my roller. I did put this glue is awesome, but I did put that was just the second one, so I just cut that out because there was no need to watch me do it twice because I just did the same thing. So now I'm embellishing it, putting a few little pieces of journaling on some of my pictures and different things like that. What I was gonna say is I put something heavy on those covers so that it would just be flat, even though the glue is really good glue and it dries flat. It just helps to get it going, and I was in a little bit of a hurry. So I've decided to add this little shaker pocket. And so what I did is I typed out some words. I think they say like, I don't know, snowflakes, hot cocoa. I don't remember. You'll see it in the close-ups. And I typed up two of the same word. So snow, and then I cut it in half. I'm sorry, I cut it so that I had snow on one side and snow on the other side. So no matter which way you're looking at the shaker packet, you're going to see the words. makes sense? So now the shaker packet's done, and I've actually used my machine to stitch it closed. Now I'm using a scrap piece of chipboard, and I used the 2x2 pocket page as my guide, and now I'm using this to make my guide. I used the pocket page as a guide to make my guide, and now I'm using the guide to go through and punch holes in the whole book. But first, I'm going to go ahead and finish out my cover so that it can dry while I'm putting together the rest of the book. So those are those awesome letters from the project, or no, excuse me, the December documented kit, I think. I like that the O and the A and the D don't have the holes in the middle. Just makes it look a little bit more, I don't know, whimsy. I don't know what the word is. And then I'm just going to put a little snowflake on there and set it over to dry. I kind of go back and forth about what snowflake I wanted, but I really kind of wanted the gold in there even though it's kind of big. And then I'll just cut off the excess. I think I do that off camera, I'm not really sure. So at first I decided I thought I was going to put this on 2 rings, and I end up actually putting it together on the rings, which is what you're going to see me do here. And then I take it off the rings and add ribbon instead. The rings were just too big, honestly, and I have some smaller ones, but they also just didn't look right. And then when I saw I was adding some ribbon to some tags that I add to this project, as I was adding the ribbon to that, I was like, oh, why don't I just add ribbon? So I end up changing this out to ribbon, and I think I do that off camera. So I was just kind of letting you know we're almost done here. It's actually going to come up to the walkthrough. I'm not going to make you watch me poke holes in every single one of these and stick it together. So just know that I'm adding a few tags in. I'm adding just for my journaling to tell a little bit of the story. And I'm going through and I'm punching each of these and adding it to the rings. And then off camera, I actually change all the rings out for the ribbon and tie the ribbon in bows, and that's it. So here comes the walkthrough of the whole entire finished product. It's coming up here in a second. Here we go. So I really like how that ribbon looked instead of the rings. And that says, "Come on, Mom." And this doesn't have any journaling, but I think it kind of speaks for itself. So throughout, I added a few little embellishments that I just hung right on the ribbon. That says "Fun." And then that's that shaker packet that I made. I did end up putting one of the paper clips in the top. It's shaped like a star. I added sequins to most of the pages. I really like this spread right here. It's probably one of my favorites. This one's pretty cute too. And then another little embellishment in the middle. And then that's it. So that's my journaling that talks about how we always come in for hot cocoa. And that's really it. So I'm going to show the final product and some close-ups, and that's about it. So thanks a lot for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks.